recording is very important. Someone can just sit somewhere. Yeah. So I was talking about that in-service training and pre-service training. Already I told you that for capacity building, in-service training is very important. And this is also called CPD. CPD. CPD is, can you just say me the full form of CPD? This is scholarship, but not about pedagogy. This CPD means a term by CBSE, continuous professional development. We are professionals. So, national, this should be compulsory. CPD means continuous professional development. Once we begin teachers, you don't think that this is the end of my study. But teacher means we must continue our study regularly. We must learn something so that we can update our students. Before updating our students, we must also update ourselves. So training is very, very important, and we will be, taking a training every month. And so first, actually, let me tell you the topics. I have decided several topics here, and I will like to know your interest area. Like one area I can say one area of training is NEP. Have you heard about NEP? I have chopped down several topics for you. Okay, I have chopped down several training topics, and out of these trainings, I will also like to know from your side which topic you like most and which is other requirement, because I have to know your expectations. I will give some ideas of teachers training, and I will also like to know your expectations, that what you want to learn. So the topic which I have planned, I will tell you, you try to note down, and after that you also tell me which topics do you want to learn more. So first topic which I want to tell you, that is NEP. What is NEP?
National Education Policy.
Excellent. National Education Policy. So last year in 2002, National Education Policy 2020 has been introduced in our country. And it is our duty to implement NEP in our school, because we have to change the educational scenario completely according to the policy. Government of India has introduced this policy, but we do not implement it. So it is our duty. So we must also know all the sections of the new National Education Policy 2020, and there are so many points, like first point is ECCE, Early Childhood Care and Education. This is the first part of the NEP. So because this is foundational. Actually, in the National Education Policy, pattern of education will be 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So you might be knowing that 5 means what? 5 means 5 years, beginning period, because most of the brain, is developed from 0 to 8 years. So 85%, most 85% brain capacity is developed. So ECC area is very vital area, very important area. So that is one area of the NEP. And the second is that FLM, Foundational Literacy and Numeracy. And by 25, we must, cover the feeding area of our schools. And then there are other sections also. So there is also one topic. When I'm talking about the topic of the training program, so one topic is National Education Policy. All the teachers must know and try to implement those techniques in our school. Number one area. The second area which I have planned for you, that is digital learning. very with 2 days before, I attended one international conference, and in that conference, future of digital learning was discussed. So in future, we have to give teaching in blended mode. So we must also learn what is blending education or blended education. Blended means or hybrid education. Actually, before COVID situation, we were giving only offline training program. But now we have to give teaching through 2 ways. One is online, other is offline. So this pattern is called blended education, or it is called hybrid education. And slowly the percentage of digital education or online education will be increasing, because this is the future of education system. So this is one area which I was to plan for you. Another is, the NCERT has developed one training module for elementary school teachers and also for secondary school teachers. That is Nishtha. Even for the headmasters, Nishtha has been introduced. So we can also discuss the different areas of Nishtha. And next is subject specific. Here we have in our school there are major 5 subjects. One is Hindi, English, Sanskrit, then social studies, maths and science. So this is called subject specific training. So we can also impart training on particular subject. Suppose if you want to talk about language, so we can also get training on the language. What is language and how to develop language of our students, or what are the components of language, like there are 4 components of language: listening, speaking, reading, writing, and how to improve the qualities of language skills. So we must also try to learn about the language. This is also one area. Or the second area of subject specific is social studies, then science, then maths. So these are also one area of training. Then I have thought about the item development. You might have heard about the item development. Have you heard it? What is item development program? Actually, question making, the name of question making has been changed. It is called item. Question means someone item means kya hota hai? It is also item like chocolates and item. So in our educational system, question making is a package. Because see, in the new pattern of examination, there will be MCQs. Yes. So framing MCQs is very difficult task. How to design MCQs, multiple choice questions, is definitely not very easy task. We have to think, questions related to locating, questions related to interpreting, questions related to different dimensions. So we must know how to design questions. That part is also called item development. So we can also talk about item development. And then one area of training is guidance and counseling, because especially in secondary schools, you will be facing a lot of problems of adolescence. So how to tackle the problems of adolescence, we must try to learn it. And then e-content development. Nowadays, especially after COVID situations, e-content development is very vital area. We must know how to develop e-contents, because the learning of students will be very easy if you provide best quality of e-contents. So we can also learn e-contents. And then next training area is action research. In the classroom, we will be finding so many problems. So this is also one area of training, action research area. So we can find the problems, and we have to find the solutions to the problems. So this part of training is called accent research. So we can also learn accent research. In CBSE has introduced art integrated education. For any subject like social studies, science, maths, when we are giving teaching to our students, then we can integrate art. How? This way. Suppose you want to give one, you want to teach one prose part to your language classroom. So you can integrate prose part with dance, drama, drawing, music. Suppose these are area of art. Dance, drama, drawing, music. So extra co-curricular activity is different. I'm talking about the art integrated education. Oh my God, actually the concept is, definitely it's a new concept. Generally some people think dance, drama, drawing, music, they are the co-curricular activity. Definitely it was co-curricular activities, but while teaching maths, you can take the help of dance, you can take the help of music, you can take the help of fine arts. Why? To make the class very interesting. You see, you may find many students are not taking interest in studies and their learning level is very, very low. And I'm also going to talk about the learning enhancement program today. This was my area of training. Learning enhancement. Students are not, it's called, I'm just writing ELEP, means Learning Enhancement Program. I've just prepared the paper due on the Learning Enhancement Program. I will show you. Many students are not learning, not able to learn. Their level of learning is very low in any class. You can find that problem not only in Ranchi, but you can find the same problem in Delhi also, Mumbai also, different big cities also find. The learning level, because this is a report of the NAS, this is a report of us. So we'll talk about that. The LEP is also very important area. And the next area is, means I was talking about the art integrated. So this is also one area of the training program, art integrated. You want to teach science, maths, and subject with the help of art to make the class very interesting. Next is, just 2 days before I was talking to the professor of NCRT, Anita Nuna. She was saying that we also integrate sports integrated education. Even for me also it was very interesting area that how to integrate sports in our classroom. Sports integrated. Next is ICT integrated. And we also talk about the vocational education. We can talk about the inclusive education. So these may be the area of training. So now, before going to LEP, actually this is I planned to talk about the LEP. So before going to the LEP PPT, I want to know your expectation. Every teacher may be having some expectations. This is the area which I want to know. सब चाहता है ना कि मैं जब किसी क्लास में जाऊं एक चीज सीखना चाहता हूं, तो क्या चीज सीखना चाहता थी कर टेल मी. ट्रेनिंग में तो बाद में बात करता हूँ. दिस आई एम वेरी सॉरी दैट आई डू switch off my mobile. Just keep your mobile in silent mode. Please, everyone should keep your mobile because this is very distracting. You will rings. It distracts you a lot. Yeah. So I want to know, I have given you one broader area of the topics. So I want to know from your side which may be other topics for the training. Because I want to take training every month. I have to come every month. I want to engage you in the training program every month. So just I want to know your expectations. Please tell me. Please tell me your expectation. आपकी इच्छा क्या है? आप और क्या-क्या जानना चाहते हैं? So that I can write down your expectation. आपकी requirement, expectation or requirement. Please tell me. आप क्या क्या और जो टॉपिक्स मैंने बताया उसके अलावा और क्या क्या जानना चाहते हैं. क्लासरूम मैनेजमेंट, जस्ट लेट मी नो. क्लासरूम मैनेजमेंट, very good topic.
And how to convince students?
How to convince students? How to convince students?
How
Yes.
to improve language?
How to improve language? How to improve language?
How to implement poor students?
How to?
Personality wise students, sir.
Can you repeat once? What?
How to implement poor students?
अच्छा, how to improve poor students? अच्छा, how to improve poor students?
Sir, speaking skill.
Speaking skill.
How to improve speaking and reading writing skills?
Speaking, reading, writing. Good. Speaking, reading, writing. Yes. What else?
Guidance and counseling.
Guidance and counseling. Yes.
So mental level of higher education student means higher level student जैसे 9-10 के स्टूडेंट्स की क्या मेंटल लेवल रहती है?
Mental level. Okay. What else? Be frank, be bold, and you have to involve yourself. You know, participatory is very important. Because if I give only training from my end, then it won't be a very effective training. So you should also speak. You should also interact with me. So please, I got so many new topics. So on this topic, if you wish to know something more about any area of the education, I will try to incorporate. और कुछ जानना चाहते हैं इसके अलावा जो टॉपिक्स अभी आए इसके अतिरिक्त? If it is not, then I am going to talk about the LP now. Okay. The first, very good. Thank you. At least I got some of your topics. Very good. I'm happy. At least you have opened your mouth. And from now onwards, I would like to request you to check me, to know something more. If you don't understand any particular components of the area which I'm going to talk, please raise your hand. But raise your hand and ask me questions. सबसे अच्छा स्टूडेंट्स कौन होता है? This is one question.
ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन करता है.
Very good. जो ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन पूछता है, सबसे अच्छा स्टूडेंट इसको मानते हैं ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन. But he's having discovery attitude. वो अधिक लगता है क्लास में बैठा हुआ है. If the student is sitting idly asking no questions, and I think that he's a passive listener. He's not active listener. So I want to see you as an active student, active listener, not as a passive listener. Okay? So I'm going to talk about the LP now. It's a digital, the new era is digital era. So in the classroom, mobile also, you should have a lot of content, a lot of materials in your mobile. You can use it, and it will be very effective. So I will also talking a lot about the different digital concepts. So one area is I will talk about the one initiative government is taking, that is Gyan program in our state. Actually, this is LEP. Basically, this is LEP. LEP means Learning Enhancement Program. Learning Enhancement Program. What is LEP? So we should try to know the concept of LEP. You may be knowing NAS. Before going to LEP, I want to talk about the NAS and ASER report. ASER. Do you have any idea about the NAS? Any idea about the NAS? NAS? Just recently, what 12? National Achievement Survey. Okay, National Achievement Survey is a survey by Government of India to know the status of students and to know the status of school. So, before this year, in 2017, NAS was conducted in India, entire India. Even our district participated. So NAS report says that around 30% students are not up to the grade level. Grade means class. Suppose class 3, class 5, class 8, class 10. These are the grades of. In NAS used to conduct tests for class 3, class 5, class 8 and class 10. And the report of NAS says that students are not up to the grade level. You may be also knowing about the learning outcomes, LOs. You may be knowing about the LOs, learning outcomes. Before going to LOs, I would like to know that what do we teach? What do we cover? Generally we cover our textbook, but this is not our aim of teaching. Our aim of teaching has been changed.
12 November exam is conducted.
Our aim of teaching is to achieve LOs. LOs means learning outcomes. Government of India has already introduced LOs for class 1 to 12. It has been divided into two parts. One is elementary, another is secondary level. For elementary level and also for the secondary level, LOs has been decided. So what happens in the NAS? The LOs questions based on the LOs have used to be asked, or write the answer based on LOs. So our purpose is to achieve the LOs. Just can you tell me what is LOs? Quickly tell me. What is LOs? Learning outcome. I'm not asking for the abbreviation.
टेक्स्ट बुक में है वो बच्चे उसका जवाब दे सके, मतलब जो पढ़ाया जा रहा है, जो बच्चों को पढ़ाया जा रहा है.
This is not
What is the observing class?
Before answering, if you raise your hand, it's much better.
Oh, okay.
Huh? Because see, if you at a time, if 3 teachers will be asking questions, then I won't listen to your questions.
Okay, sir.
So better raise your hand, then ask the question.
In class during study time, how observe students? मतलब student कितना observe किया? Learning outcome means.
This is also not the perfect answer.
So what changes occur after they get the knowledge about the subject? What changes in their personality and their thought process?
That's
happens?
some extent that's right. Because see, our aim is to achieve learning outcomes for every classes. Learning outcome has been decided. Okay, for every class, learning outcome has been decided. Objective and LOs. These are two different. Actually, during BEd or during DLED, we have learned objective of the lesson plan. Means what is my objective of the lesson plan? Before teaching, LOs are after teaching. Means after teaching, what as we say, there will be some behavioral change. There will be some changes in the in the personality or in the understanding in applications. See, there are 3 things in knowledge, one area, other is understanding, third area is application. KUP, called knowledge, understanding and application. QA, knowledge, understanding and application. Students are able to apply it or not in their life, daily life situations. If he knows answer to vomit it during exam, that is not our purpose to teach it all. Our purpose of teaching is to apply in the daily life. So LO's learning outcome has been designed in that way. So our purpose is that. Okay. LOs are not achieved. So to achieve the LOs, learning enhancement program has been initiated in different states of India. And how to enhance it, that I am going to talk about it. The process, because process is very important. I am talking about the process. I'm talking about the LEP, learning enhancement, but what will be the process that we will talk about it. So the next slide I want to show you. Already have told you that I talked about the NAS report, and the same report is very similar to ASA report, and already talked about the learning level is very less of the students. Learning level is very less in every classroom, everywhere in India. And already talked about the learning outcomes are not achieved. And to fill up the gap, learning gap, this initiative has been taken. Means there is somewhere gap is there. जैसे 8वीं क्लास में बच्चों को रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन कॉम्प्लेक्स आ जाना चाहिए. This is one learning outcome. Students of class A should be able to write the answers related to reading comprehension complex. If students are not able to write the answers of the reading comprehension complex one, that means the learning outcome is not achieved. There is somewhere gap. That is called learning gap. To achieve or to fulfill the gap, one initiative has been started in our state. And before that, I would like to give you questions related to TNE. What is TNE? Means teacher need. Just you told me, what is TNE? Teacher need assessment. I asked one question that I gave you so many topics for the TNE program, and I also asked you that if you want to learn something more, please just use a new topic. Some teacher said me about the classroom management. This is one need. So here is updated here. Teacher need assessment. Teacher need. What is your need? जैसे बच्चे को दूध पीने की जरूरत है, इच्छा है, और उसको हम दे रहे हैं कोल्ड ड्रिंक, शायद अच्छा नहीं, या मट्ठा दे रहे हैं, शायद अच्छा न लगे. तो जो चीज को चाहते हैं वो दे, तो दैट इज बेटर. So the teacher need is very important. He gave me a topic like classroom management, how to convince students, and about the language, speaking skill, reading, writing skill, guidance in counseling and mental development, mental level development. You suggested me several topics. So these topics are your need. The topics which you gave me now are your need. So, because ultimately teachers are going to implement LEP, Learning Enhancement Program, or Learning Enhancement techniques. Who will implement it? कौन implement करेंगे? Teachers. So before implementing, teachers must be trained. If the teachers are not trained, he cannot implement it. So I want to next slide here. I'm not going to give very hard, jargons. I've written some words in Hindi also for yourself to understand it. Very simple word I have used it. First is baseline assessment. Baseline assessment means what? Hindi it is called Adharekhiyakulan. Adharekhiyakulan means in classroom you will find different types of students. One is slow learner, another is average, and some students are fast learners. You won't find all the students of the same mental status. It's quite difficult to find all students will not get 90%. All चलो टेस्ट पढ़ा दिया और टेस्ट लिया, सबको 90 से 90 लाना पड़ेगा. Can all the students will get or 90 marks? Someone will get 50, some students may get 60, 70, 80, 90 according to their knowledge, understanding and application. It depends on the capacity to brain is different. It depends man to man. So we must conduct baselining, very important. Baseline assessment. Our first work for the LEP is baselining. सब बच्चे को तो जान जाए कि where is our student? मेरा बच्चा स्टूडेंट कहाँ पर है? Second point is that for as I have experience, we have done a lot of research work. One is grouping. After when we conduct baseline assessment, then we have to form different groups of the students, like group A, group B, group C. How can I compare it with the grouping? Suppose you go to a doctor and you say, "Oh doctor, I'm having fever," and the doctor will write paracetamol. Is it right?
Right, sir.
Is it right?
Right.
Oh no. Then what is right?
Right is the taste.
First of all,
Oh,
taste.
okay.
Mickey.
Huh?
Mickey.
Mickey. Oh, can you give a class on Mickey? Mickey said, doctor should write paracetamol. Doctor should go for diagnosis.
Yes.
Test. Whether he is having dengue, whether he is having corona, whether he is having viral fever, malaria, and for all if he prescribes paracetamol, it's quite injustice. So diagnosis is very important, very important part. And then after proper diagnosis, he should prescribe. In the same way, as a teacher, we must diagnose the students, and then we have to give the knowledge according to the need, according to their demand, according to their level. And accordingly, we can also change the lesson plan. Suppose after conducting the baseline survey, I formed 3 groups, or say 2 groups. Group 1, group 2. Okay, can you give me one name of this group? Anyone? What should be the name of? Suppose I conducted one baseline at the assessment, and I could form 2 groups. My left side, group A, group B. And can you give one name? कुछ नाम दे सकते हैं इस ग्रुप का नाम? Any or संगीता. Okay, no problem. The name may be Sangeeta group. No problem. And then what is the name of the other group? Okay, no problem. Sangeeta group and Nikki group. Good. So, when I plan, when I think for lesson planning, then for Sangeeta group, I will be having different activities. I will be having different worksheets for Sangeeta group. But my lesson plan for Nikki group will be different. Not the same. Because the labels are different. Labels are different. So I have to design this is not according to the level of the student. So when I prepare lesson plan, then I have to think the different activities for Sangeeta group and different activities for Nikki group. Different worksheets for Sangeeta group and different worksheets for Nikki group. And when I prepare lesson planning, generally, what do we just stand up for a moment? And then actually you are sitting quiet, then I would like to just know some questions from some persons. Ma'am, what's your name?
My name is Amima. Amima Parveen.
Amima, okay. I have one question. How do I prepare lesson plan? How do I prepare lesson plan? Please tell me. What are the components of the lesson plan? Have you done BA or BA?
Yes,
BA. From where? From which college?
from University of Kashmir.
University of Kashmir. Oh my God, so far. Thanks. So can you just tell me the components? See, in the present scenario, there are 5 points. No, there are 5 points. At present, we have discussed a lot. To make it very simple, one is before teaching, during teaching, and after teaching. Very simple. What will be questionnaires? What will be the activities? So one part of the lesson plan will be before, then middle, during, and then post. Or, there may be other. I do, we do, and you do. I do means the teacher will, when the teacher enters into the classroom, whatever activity he does, that part will be called I do. And after explaining something, after introducing the lesson, when the teacher and the student will do some work, that will be called we do. The teacher and the student will do together. That is called we do. And I have to also assist the students because CC is also introduced in our country. What is CCE?
Comprehensive continuous evaluation.
Continuous evaluation. Comprehensive
Continuous evaluation.
Right. So, when I conduct any class, CC is also required. I ask questions whether student has understood, like Amima or any other. If I have to know whether you are understanding my lesson or not, I have to ask the question. So that time only student will do something. So that part is called you. So what are the 3 parts? Please you tell your name. What's your name? Huh? Rajesh Kumar. Okay. Please tell me now. I ask you to prepare lesson plan. So what will be the major components of lesson plan?
टीचिंग करने से पहले कुछ materials के अपने teaching material.
Just now, sit down. Just now, I discuss 3 parts. Please, ma'am. You come.
Before teaching,
Huh?
during teaching, and after teaching.
Excellent. Give clapping for me. Give clapping. Very good. Please be active. I said in the beginning to be a very active listener. I said you to be very active listener. Active listener baniye. If you are a passive listener, they will answer something else. So you must be very, very attentive in the class. Then okay, from now onwards I have to assist you. I will be asking questions. मैं आपसे questions बीच-बीच में पूछते रहूँगा कि आप समझ रहे हैं. अच्छा ये ऐसा तो नहीं है कि मैं अंग्रेजी में बक रहा हूँ आपको समझ नहीं ऐसा नहीं है. समझ रहे हैं ना? अच्छा मेरी एक्सेंट समझ में आ रही है ना? ऐसा तो नहीं कि मेरे एक्सेंट में बोल रहा हूँ समझ में नहीं आ रही है. समझ में आ रही है ना? तो मैं चलो मैं खुश हूँ कि आपको समझ में आ रही है. I'm very happy that you are understanding my lessons. तो मैं lesson plan के बारे में चर्चा किया था कि LP के बारे में when I'm talking about the LP, the lesson plan is very important part. So because I have got 2 different sections in the same class, so I'll prepare one lesson plan for one group, another lesson plan for another group. This is the new technique. And I will be targeting one group. Suppose group A, Sangeeta group is weak, slow learner, but they are very fast like Vicky, very fast learner. So activities will be a bit different than this group. I will be, but as a teacher, if I am teaching here in the classroom, they are crucial. So I will be giving more attention in this group, Sangeeta group. Why? Who is Sangeeta here? Who is Sangeeta here?
Yeah.
You Sangeeta, I thought someone else. So, okay, Sangeeta group is a targeted group. So I have to give focus, more focus on Sangeeta. Why? Because slow. The learning level is a bit low, a bit less. So I have to give more attention, I have to give more focus. And they are a bit fast learner. So they can do something self-learning. When I will be interacting with this group will be learning by themselves, self-learning. Okay? And if I teach only this group, I want to teach this group, they will say, oh my God, sir is doing not justice with us. He is not teaching us. He will go to Rajesh sir and complain, oh sir is not teaching. Then after some time, I will go to Pinky group. Till then, this group will be engaged in self-learning. And I will be interacting with Pinky group. Okay. Then next is the timing is also very important. I have to give more time to this group, less time to this group. And I have to, whatever, plan, for the activities, as a teacher, you must also prepare your guide. Suppose I prepared, suppose this is my guide. I will not debate it. I thought that I am going to talk to teachers of DAV. DAV teachers. And I have thought that this will be my process of teaching. I will not talk about agriculture, not talk about the topics. But I talk about the education. So I am not debating. Am I debating? No, I'm not debating. So you should also prepare one plan, guidebook, and then the worksheet for teachers. Actually, in the guidebook, what happens? activities will be written. Lot of activities. They will see there are of course 10 chapters in English classroom, English textbook, or 10 chapters in Hindi or maths, whatever subjects are there. For every chapter, there should be different activities. So those activities should be written in the book. Okay. And your activity should be correlated with the worksheet. This is very important. Worksheet. I'm talking about the worksheet here. Worksheet, okay? Worksheet. This worksheet is specially made for the students. It should not be boring. What happens? Generally, we take the questions of the textbook. Do you have any textbook now? Right? Textbook? No textbook. No problem. No problem. Yeah. Oh my God. And you're keeping so many books. Full of bag. The bag is filled with books. So see, a lot of questions are there. Generally, what happens in the classroom? Teachers take out some questions in the textbook, and that is worksheet. No. As I told you in the beginning, how to develop eye changes. Very difficult, very brainstorming is required. In the same way, when you prepare worksheet, it should be new. Every time you prepare new type of worksheet. जैसे मान लीजिए मेरी बीवी खाना बनाती है और वो चावल दाल there should be some changing. Suppose if she prepares चावल दाल is no problem, but next day माड़ भात, next day खिचड़ी, next day kheer.
Yes,
The same thing is there, rice is there, but the dish is different. I will take more interest.